Hello folks. Alright, you know what that music means. It means it's time for some more hobby nightmares at the start of a brand new week. I hope you're having a marvellous, or you've had a marvellous weekend. I am very tired because I stayed up last night with the family watching WrestleMania. And, wow, that was a disappointing ending. Oh, God. 2 days. 2 days of really good storylines, really good shows. Messed up by an ending like that, but I'm not going to get into that here because this isn't a wrestling channel, of course. But, you know, if you know what I mean, head on into the comment section down below and let me know what you think. If you like what I do, then the subscribe button is down below. The Patreon button is also down below if you want to buy me a beer. And also, if you're going to get any models on the run up to 10th edition of 40k, Composite Games are here for you. Head over there and use the promo code Northern Exile down below to get yourself 5% off at checkout. Can't say fairer than that. So, a few stories today. A few of them I've been reliably told are pretty good. So let's jump in, shall we? First of all, we have Aaron, or Aaron, as I like to call Aaron's. Hey North, hope you're doing well. I have a brief hobby nightmare to share that I'd like to use the title "How to Introduce Somebody to Warhammer 40,000." Okay, fair enough. During my time at high school, when I wasn't really playing 40k, but buying and reading codices, I used to go to a tabletop gaming club hosted at the local community hall. The people there used to play both obscure games and popular games, but the main ones were Bolt Action, X-Wing, and Magic the Gathering, with only the occasional game of Warhammer 40,000. Wow, that's not usual. That is not usual. Normally it's the other way around. Normally it's 40k everywhere. And people being like, you know, don't like 40k. Because they're being bitches about it. About us having like an amazing hobby, but there you go. It is what it is. They also had board games too. Carcassonne, Terraforming Mars, and Werewolf were pretty popular. I met some really cool people there, but some really strange ones too. One of the people I met was a man called Richard, but I will refer to him by his shortened name, for that name is more fitting. Dick. He was an overweight man who did not seem to shower very often. We all know the type. He was one of the few people who played 40k regularly, so young me wanted to spend more time with him, as I was not very interested in many of the games that were usually played bar the board games. He had a gun line of Imperial Guardsmen with tanks, ratlings, ogrins, and many other mainstay guard units. Nothing wrong with that, sounds good. My brother at the time also had a guard army, but it only consisted of a Lemon Russ, 2 squads of infantry, a command squad, and a sentinel. Not a bad force by any stretch of the imagination, but not really a terribly powerful one either. I asked my brother if I could borrow his army because I really wanted to play my first game of 40k and I'd finally met somebody to play with. Unfortunately, young me was not a very insightful nor an experienced person to know what was coming for me. I asked Dick if I could play some 40k with him, and told him that it would be my first time playing, so I would love... Sorry, that is me, I forgot to switch my WhatsApp off. Apologies. I asked Dick if I could play some 40k with him, and told him that it would be my first time playing, so I would love some help with the rules. I can see where this is going to go. He accepted my offer for a game wholeheartedly, and said that next week we would play a game, and that he would bring his whole guardsman force. I thought to myself, oh cool, I'll get to see what a real guard army looks like, and maybe he'll let me use some of it to even out the armies. If only I knew what was going to happen the following week, but I didn't, and I had the worst first game of Warhammer 40,000 I could have possibly had. Okay. These are the ones that hurt me. These are the stories that hurt me. We meet up at the club on that fateful Friday, and we begin to unpack. My force is roughly 400-ish points, give or take, and Dick begins to get out his grand army. He fields nearly 1,000 points of guard, and places all of the elevated and fortified terrain on his side of the table, leaving me to slog uphill. Little autistic and socially inept me either doesn't know any better, or doesn't want to risk asking Dick to level the playing field. Maybe I was just so excited to finally roll some dice in the game I'd only read about for years. It doesn't matter. Dick said that the army numbers should be fine and that he'd tell me the rules while we play the game. We rolled off a first turn and I actually got first turn. I asked what I needed to do and he said that I can move my troops or shoot. I decided to shoot and proceed to do fuck all. I think my rolls were actually pretty good, but Dick would always say that his armour was just too good for me to penetrate it. He then starts his turn and begins to waffle on about this special rule and that aura that allows him to do such and such. He then proceeds to manoeuvre his forces around mine and then starts his shooting phase. I ask why I was only allowed to shoot. He says that it's a part of his army special rules and of course did not elaborate any further. I was wondering why my army didn't have the same special rules, but didn't ask about it over politeness. He opens fire and rolls his dice behind the terrain, and I think you get the picture from here. He blasted my army off the table, and I just sort of accepted it. Yeah, dude, I have to say something here. Okay, these guys are cancer. These guys are cancer. Do you know when people say, like, the amount of people who shouldn't be in the hobby? So you're looking at people who are, you know, racists or who are generally very unpleasant to be around, or very arrogant about the army that they're playing, or very dismissive of everybody else and their opinions around them. People like that. I put these types of people in the most extreme group of we need them out the hobby. You know? If you are approached by somebody who is young and looking to get into the hobby, what you do, if they've got like an Eldar force and you have a 5,000 point Eldar force, you bring your entire army to the game, right? And you lay it out for him and you say, hey dude, this is a 5,000 point Eldar army. Look at that. This is what you could be getting into. This is what you could have over the next few years. You got 500 points. Good start. Good start. What I want you to do is pick out the models that you think look the coolest, and we'll make a list with those models in them, and I'll make a list to go against you that's, you know, quite well balanced, right? You play a well balanced game, win, lose or draw. You shake the hand, you make sure they have a good time, and you move the fuck on with your day. What you don't do is sabotage somebody else getting into the hobby because your balls are so small. They're like tiny little raisins between your legs. You know, they're so small that you need to beat a kid at Warhammer to make them feel just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger, right? Seriously. Seriously. Continuing on. Being young, socially inept because of my autism, and not knowing any better, I effectively allowed this man to ruin my view of 40k as a game for the next 5 years, exactly. I didn't have anybody else to play 40k with, so I agreed to 2 more games that went exactly the same. But Dick had to get creative with his lying when I started to read up on the rules in my spare time, but I just got fed up with losing and knew nothing was going to change. I pretty much just stuck to board games from then on in, and refused to talk to Dick at all. Of course, years later, my local Games Workshop manager would introduce me to how 40k and Age of Sigmar should be played in intro games, and I had an absolute blast. Good. Good. I please name your Games Workshop. This person deserves praise for amending and fixing a situation that some neckbeard dickhead created. And this is the thing, you can have a go at Games Workshop managers all you want. Guys, all you want. But they are the people who 9 times out of 10 have to pick up the pieces for your bad behaviour. Probably not you who's listening to it right now, but you know what I mean. The fans behaving badly and turning people off the game. Somebody will walk into Games Workshop. I lost count of the amount of times I was running my store and somebody would come in and say, I loved 40k, I loved the lore, I tried to get into it, but, you know, and my friends all battered me off the table, essentially. So I just gave up. You know, I stopped playing. They come in and you save the hobby for them. You play a game with them where they have a really good time, win, lose or draw. And they're in. And they were always going to be in. It's only dickheads like this who keep them out. Alright? If Dick taught me anything, though, he taught me how not to introduce this game to someone, and I've managed to successfully convert 4 people with my first games with said people, so there is a silver lining here. Personally, my favourite moment when teaching somebody how to play their faction is the part where you point out a really awesome faction ability that they can use to blast one of your own units off the board. Seeing the smile on their face and the reaction of, wait, they can do that? Always warms my heart, and is quickly becoming what I live for when wargaming with new players. If anything, I'm just glad that even though I had a bad first experience, I can use that to make sure that others don't. That's my story, Exile. Bless you and hope the rest of your day goes fantastic. Cheers, dude. For somebody with autism, that is a really well written letter. Amazing, really good stuff. Right, let me take a quick drink of coffee here. There we go. Zontar says, hello North, Zontar here with another short hobby nightmare. The first is involving my best friend, let's call him Mike. Mike and I both play Battletech. He is a Kurita player who are a nation that are basically the stereotypes of modern and imperial Japan. Okay. Armed up with a stereotypical degree. I, on the other hand, am a Rasselhaug player. Think Vikings in space. For Christmas, Mike and I each got each other a Battletech set for Christmas. Okay, nice, nice. Mine to him was just a simple lance of mechs he didn't have. For me, his for me was a clan elemental star. At this point, every Battletech fan hearing this has either gotten a good chuckle hearing that, or groaned in the type of pain only nerds do. Like Big Red 40k did when I told him the story of one of his streams. For the majority of you listening who aren't Battletech fans, the joke is that the clan invasion saw the end of the free Razzlehog Republic, as unlike other companies, Battletech's multiple owners over the years have never hesitated to destroy a nation if that was the logical outcome of the setting. The Free Republic might return in time, given how the story of the setting is progressing, but even if it doesn't, there are still people like Mage Leader and I who play them. The gift won't go to waste either, as I'm working towards the goal of having an entire company of mechs and armour for each of the 6 major houses, the 6 minor factions and 6 Crusader clans in time. It got a good laugh out of me too. That's good, man, that's good. I mean, I don't know anything about Battletech, but I'm assuming the Battletech people in the audience will be chuckling along to that one. So well done to you for, like, you know, entertaining a small portion of the audience. Moving on. Yancey says, what's happening, Big Banished from up north? I like that one. Big Banished. I like that one. The name's Yancey, and I live in LA. Ah, you just had WrestleMania out of your backyard there. Good lad. Name's Yancey, and I live in LA. I recently caught on to your channel and often tune in while I do my work. First and foremost, I wanted to say keep up the good work. You help the Monday to Friday grind go by a little easier. Well, I'm glad I do, man. Yeah, Monday to Friday grind sucks balls. Absolute balls. I have a hobby nightmare for you, which I'll call How Not to Ask Out a Woman. Oh no. Oh no, I hate these. I hate these with a passion. I don't hate them as in hate reading them, they just make me feel really cringe. Alright, let's get prepared. I often frequent an independent local store with a group of friends. This store is very modern, clean, and has active communities from anything from Magic the Gathering or board games to Warhammer and Star Wars. Most members of my immediate gaming group are also close personal friends of mine who are in general attractive / semi-athletic people. Dude, you're from LA. Everybody is attractive or semi-athletic if they're not crackheads. Let's be honest. Right? I've only been there twice. But I've stayed there for a few weeks each time. And I would say I counted the ugly people I saw on one hand. I will tell you this. So when I was living in the US, I lived in suburban Chicago. North Shore, so like a very affluent neighborhood. I couldn't afford to live there. I was living with other people, by the way. And every single person there was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Like, my missus was driving me down the road in summer, near 4th of July, and she was just like, "You're having the time of your life, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." Because the women were just absolutely off the charts. It was ridiculous. And then I came home to Liverpool. And I'd go out with my friends and they'd be like, "Oh man, see that girl over there? She's so hot." And I'd look over and I'd go, "Dude, are you fucking serious?" Because I've been spoiled. I've been spoiled. People don't get how hot women are in America, right? In most big cities in America, the standard of person, not even woman, the standard of person in a city in America is way beyond a city in the UK. The closest you get is London, and most people down there, you know, are a bit snooty. But the closest you get to the hotness of an American city is London. But Liverpool, though, I mean, God bless you guys. God bless you, right? Love you all. You know I do. But you are some ugly motherfuckers. Like, I'm being honest, right? I can hear the pitchforks and the booing. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I love you all. You know, I'm very proud of where I come from. But good God, there are some spud-faced chances up here, let me tell you. Like, the amount of even dudes I saw in the US who were just gorgeous, you're just like, oh my God. Piss off, will you? Don't stand next to me. You know, just stand over there. You know, it's incredible. Yeah, and there are ugly people over there. And you'll get people in the comments saying, "Oh, have you been to Gary, Indiana? Or have you been to this place, that place?" Yeah, of course I haven't. I'm talking about major cities. The center of major cities. You know, I can count in LA the ugly people on one hand, and most of them were homeless, right? Most of them were homeless. And coming back to the UK was a bit of a culture shock, because you're spoiled. You're spoiled. You see so many gorgeous people that you just walk around Liverpool and you're like, oh my God, she's orange. Why is she orange? You know, you don't understand. Why are you orange? You know, like in America, pale skin on a woman is like a delicacy. It's like, oh my God, beautiful pale skin. We love that, you know. In Liverpool, they're slapping on the finish. They're slapping on the varnish. It's all orange. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. I get there are gorgeous women in Liverpool. Don't get me wrong, but like it's the same. It's the same thing but reversed. You know, I can count the gorgeous women I see on a night out in Liverpool on one hand. On one hand, I can count the gorgeous ones I see on one hand, and dudes as well. Same goes for guys. I can count the truly good-looking guys on one hand. Whereas in LA, it was the other way around. Right, it was literally the other way around. In Chicago, actually, it was the other way around as well. When I went out for a night out, few nights out in Chicago, everyone was gorgeous. I don't know what was going on. Anyway, rant over. So yeah, you are in the general attractive to semi-athletic people. Okay. I don't say this in an egotistical way, but as we are all aware, let's just say some of the community fits into another stereotype that tends to turn women off. Yes, they are. The reason why I feel like I can say that, right? I can agree with that without any sense of irony. Is, you know, I try to give you guys tools to be better. You know, like I judge you guys by the same rules I judge myself. And if I didn't look after myself, if I didn't go out running, if I didn't go to the gym, if I didn't groom myself, I would be one ugly motherfucker. Like, you know, no one would look at me twice. Do you know what I mean? But they do look at me twice from that every now and again because I put the effort in. But I could easily turn into a ranted neckbeard. Give me a couple of weeks, dude. Give me a couple of weeks of not looking after myself, and I'm there. You know, trust me. So yeah, it's why I don't really like self-help people. I'm not a big fan of Andrew Tate. I'm not a big fan of all those other guys who prey on the more toxic parts of the male mind. I think it's very, very, very important that you recognise that you can be a strong man without hating women. Women are annoying, but that doesn't mean And I mean that sincerely as well. Sincerely. Women are annoying as fuck. I just are, right? Men are annoying to them, fair enough, yep, but to me, women are annoying as fuck sometimes. But you can say that without hating people, and you can say that without tarring everybody and saying, fuck them, they want this and they want that, and dude, no one's going to sleep with you if you do that, you know? And that's why I feel comfortable saying, look, don't be a neckbeard, here's how to not be a neckbeard, and by doing that, I will now take the piss out of neckbeards. You know, I don't feel like I'm talking down, or punching down, is what I'm saying, you know what I mean? Alright. We were all meeting up for our after-work weekly gaming sessions. One of the players' girlfriends popped in to visit and socialise with us. She unfortunately hadn't been around for a while because of an increased work schedule. We'll call her Mac. Now, Mac is not normally interested in wargaming, but she does have a small Targaryen army for Simon's A Song of Ice and Fire minigame. This is mainly so that she can occasionally play, and because she likes Daenerys and dragons. Okay, cool. Daenerys Stormborn, very nice, very nice. Emilia Clarke, French kiss, very nice. I like it. Not having seen Mac in some time, I packed up my World Eaters Legion and got my free folk out of my truck for a quick game. We set up, began playing, catching up, and having an overall great time. This is up until about halfway in our game, when one of the D&D players from the other side of the store got up and power walked over to our table. We'll call this fella Hector. To describe Hector, think of a 5'4" man in his 30s with a neckbeard, acne, and about 50 pounds overweight for his frame. Also, not great hygiene or sense of style. Hector has a plastic grocery bag with him. When he reaches the head of our gaming table, he slams it down, rips open the plastic, and freezes in place for an awkward 5 seconds that absolutely felt more like 50. Hector unfreezes to quickly pull out a canned drink from the bag, does a 90-degree spin on his heel to face Mac. He then kneels, whilst holding up the drink with one arm and says, "The all-powerful, the most beautiful woman." I've got to put the voice on for this, sorry, 1 second. 1 second. The all-powerful, the most beautiful woman, more beautiful than the dawn. Would the Lady Daenerys care for an Arizona iced tea? For those of you who didn't get that, the all-powerful, the most beautiful woman, more beautiful than the dawn. Would the Lady Daenerys care for an Arizona iced tea? Imagine this man on one knee doing this, by the way. I involuntarily burst into tears and laugh in his face. I start making for the exit to try and compose myself. I'm not embarrassed the poor guy, but I know the damage is already done. On my way out, I tell Mac's boyfriend, "Hey, in case you didn't know, there's this fella over there trying to steal your girl." To which he implied, after looking over, "Yeah, that's a negative, Ghost Rider, no threat detected." And that only sent me more over the edge. Later that night, as the store closed, we overheard Hector in the parking lot bragging to the D&D crowd, saying, "And then she talked to me." Oh my god. Going forward, we made sure to invite Hector and the D&D friends to play games with us, and still always make sure to say our hellos, so there was no permanent self-esteem damage. But I just wanted to share the story on the cringiest how not to ask out a woman experience I've ever seen. Best regards, Yancy. Well, good for you, man. Good for you on not being like, they're so awkward, they're so, You know, good for you for going over there and embracing the nerddom and making them feel like, you know, listen, some people just need help, you know? Some people just need a bit of help. I know he was bragging to his friends over, like, you know, and then she talked to me. But, you know, she probably did talk to him. She seems like a nice girl. So, some people just, maybe this guy, this neckbeard, needed that shot on the arm. You know what I mean? Maybe he needed to talk to a woman And this is him starting out his journey of getting those reps in. I always tell you guys, get reps in. If you want to learn how to talk to women, talk to women. Again and again and again and again and again and again. Doesn't matter if they're attractive, doesn't matter if they're a 10, doesn't matter if they're into the same thing as you. Always learn how to empathize with women. If you can do that, you're 9/10 of the way there to being popular with the ladies. You're 9/10 of the way there. When I say empathize with them, this is the thing that neckbeards do a lot, and cringy people do a lot, is that they will empathize straight away, and they'll do it in a very manufactured way. You know, do you know the reason why people don't like male feminists? Because that's how it comes across. When they do shit like that, they're an ally and they're this and they're that, and you know, women are underrepresented and you should stick up for them, blah blah. The white knights out there, right? Well, the reason why they're so cringe is because they're trying to empathize with women, but because they don't have a fucking brain and they don't have a set of balls that work properly, they don't know how to actually empathize from an honest place. It's not honest. It's coming from a dishonest place because they're trying to get laid. Now, secretly, let's be honest, we're all trying to get laid. We've got to be honest with ourselves here. We're all trying to get laid. But at the end of the day, what you will get if you empathize with women, if you're good at talking to them, is you will have women who want to be around you all the time. Not all the time, you know, but whenever you go out, they'll want to say hello. If you go to the same bar every week or every couple of weeks, they'll see you and they'll say hello. They'll even come over and say hello. There's nothing sexier to a woman than you walking into a place, talking to her, and another hot woman comes over and says hello to you. Dude, it's over. It's fucking over. If that happens, that's all she wrote, right? If she's already interested in you and that happens, she's going to get competitive. She's going to be like, you know, wait, why is this person talking to this guy? You may think she's going to think you're some sort of shagger who's been sleeping around, you know. But let me tell you, all the times this has happened around me, not just to me, but around me with other people, it's been the opposite. They haven't thought that. Because if you've already laid in the groundwork that you're a nice guy and you're a good person, and now you've got attractive women coming up to you and being like, hey, how are you? You know, nice to see you again, blah, blah. You know, in a completely platonic way, but they're saying hello to you, it's over. Dude, it's over. Because you've got that social value already. You've got that. Other women have chosen to speak to you. Okay? That's why empathy is so important. And that's why I think that's what this neckbeard is doing, is he's trying to establish that empathy by getting reps in, by talking to more and more and more women, even if it isn't in a platonic way. Yes, this was cringe as fuck. Yes, somebody needs to teach him how to approach people and do all that kind of a thing. But you're only going to find out how to do it by doing it. And well done to Yancey, by the way, for not talking down to this guy and saying this guy's the worst and he's so cringe and we never spoke to him again. Because a lot of these stories come across when the writer says, oh, we got the girl away from there, she was really upset and blah blah, but you know, we were nice and we made sure she was okay. And everybody clapped, you know? Well, at least this is one of those stories where, you know, Yancey's gone in there and gone, yeah, okay, this guy's probably getting reps in. It's harmless, right? It's harmless. Let's invite them over. Hey, man, you know, do you want to talk to her again? Like, you know. And by the way, Mac's boyfriend has a pair of balls as well. That's a Chad right there. He realises the other guy's no threat and lets him talk to his girl. He's like, yeah, I don't care. Fucking talk to her. I don't care. You seen the size of my balls? Like no one's taking my woman off me. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you talk to her. No problem. Right? That's awesome. That's awesome. He realises another guy needs a few reps. There's no threat there. Let him talk to her. You know? Absolutely. Brilliant. Excellent behaviour all round. Apart from the neckbeard, obviously. But maybe, as I just said, maybe he needs a few reps. Maybe he needs to just get in there and talk to a few more women to get the monkey off his back, sort of a thing, you know? Anyway, have you guys had any sort of weird experiences around people approaching girls in the hobby store? Let me know, because I'd like to read a few of those this week, because they are really funny, even if they are really cringe. I love you a long time. I will speak to you tomorrow for probably a lore video, or a video on 10th edition, not sure yet. I'm going to check the news tonight, write a script, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. So, love you a long time, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you later. Have a good one. Bye.